Hello there, everybody. I hope you're doing really well. I'm Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. If you are new to the channel, you just landed here. Glad to have you. I hope you stick around, hit that like and subscribe button. I am a certified tarot reader. I am also a former newspaper journalist. So my readings tend to be, pretty grounded. I'm also a Capricorn. That helps, right? Keep it real, keep it grounded for you all. And then we go to spirit and we get, some added layers and insight as to, the issues that we look at. I am also an initiated priestess in both Wiccan and African traditions, so I got a lot going on. I try to use all that to bring you some good content. Today I am wearing my faith shirt, and what I love about this is the print face on here, you all. I gotta get up and show it to you. It actually matches the print of my tattoo, right? So hey, trying to walk the talk and live what I believe. Let's keep going, you all. Want to take a look at a couple of things today. Interesting. That deportation order, right? We have all seen the horrible videos of the treatment and what's happened with those that were deported to El Salvador. The Venezuelan, so-called all of them gang members, pursuant to the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Like, it's just mind-blowing, right? It never ceases to just take us to a different level of like, what? What? But interesting. So Judge James Boasberg, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name, but he has said, I'm not giving up on this, you all. Whatever flimsy excuses you're giving me about whether or not my order was disobeyed, you're going to prove to me, you're going to show me what really happened. So he's calling them on the carpet. And at the hearing on Friday, I'm taping this really early Monday morning. I mean, it's Monday morning. God, jumping ahead on time. I'm taping this really early Sunday morning, the 23rd. On Friday, there was a hearing. They're still giving, the administration's attorneys are still giving flimsy answers about what really happened and the timing and whatever. And the judge is calling them to account and saying, I'm not giving up on this. And if in fact, when I get to the bottom of it, you all disobeyed the orders, there are going to be some consequences. What those consequences are, we don't quite know yet, but we're going to take a look at that. But bottom line is, he's saying, this is not, you're not going to get me to just go away and shush my mouth. They are, of course, trying to frame this as he's this, left liberal wackadoo judge appointed by Obama to the district court. Yes, he was appointed by Obama. However, he was also, prior to that, he was appointed by George Bush to the Superior Court. So labeling him as just, this whole leftist kind of thing is not going to hold. He had Bush appointed him initially, and then he was bumped up to the district court by Obama. So that whole thing is not gonna work, or at least it doesn't hold water, if depending on how the information or misinformation gets handled. All right, but we're gonna take a look at that. I really want to see what's gonna happen, because interestingly, yesterday, if I'm right, Saturday, I'm going to call him Foxtrot Delta Tango today. I have struggled with what to call this man. I've gone from F45 to F47 to just F it. But on TikTok, I saw this morning the opposite. We've all seen the red and white MAGA hats, right? The trucker hats, the MAGA hats. So somebody has flipped that around and made a white hat with red print that says Foxtrot Delta Tango FDT. We got that, right? So that's sort of going around. I might just call him FDT today, or Foxtrot Delta Tango. But he came out and said, I didn't sign that order. I did not sign this Aliens Enemies Act. I didn't sign that. I don't even, it wasn't me. Caitlin Collins and CNN and some other outlets went to the Federal Register, found the signature. So of course we're going to hear some junk about auto pins is what I'm getting with, they're going to continue to talk about that. But what he also said, FDT, was, it was Rubio. Rubio was handling all of this. Marco had all this under control. He went to El Salvador and worked out the deal for them to put these deportations, or these people who were deported, into the most horrific prison known, So that's what's happening with that. It wasn't me. It was Marco Rubio, you all. I'm getting increasingly. We've talked about this before, and I think other readers have as well. Not looking good for Marco Rubio. Not looking good for him at all. First of all, and we're going to get into this. His political career is toast. Now that we've heard the temporary protections that were granted by Biden for different nationalities are now, they've got until April 24th to leave the country, or else they will face deportations. That now includes, what do we have? We have Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, Haitians, and Cubans. The Cuban community in Florida, and in particular South Florida, right? Outraged. Absolutely outraged, and there is going to be a lot of pushback. I don't even know it. I don't know where Marco Rubio lives in Florida, but I don't get a feeling that he's going to get welcomed home anytime soon. All right, so now they've looped in the Cubans with those who they're planning to deport by the end of April to where, because there is a lot of talk. Are they going to send them to El Salvador as well? You know, these deportations are not guaranteeing that the countries will accept them back, and the arrangements have been made for them to go back to their home countries. So where are they going to take them? All right, let's go in, you all. Let's go, and then I'm going to close out the reading. We're going to take a quick look at many of you have asked me to take a look at the special elections. So we're going to take a look at the Florida special elections coming up on April 1st. All right, we got 2 races in 2 districts. We'll take a look at that. First, backing up, Spirit. Judge James Boasberg, and the orders that were disobeyed with these flights. What's happening with that? What will happen with that? And will that blow back ultimately on the administration? Will he sanction, fine? What punishment will come to the administration? And in particular, something wants to jump out. 8 of Cups. They're scared. They're already running away. I didn't do it. This is an indication of a confirmation of FDT saying, I didn't sign it. And then they went and found his signature on the Federal Registry that he did sign it. He did authorize it. Spirit, the judge's actions in relation to the order. The Page of Wands. This is just getting started, you all. Pages are a new energy. And the Wands, I feel like that's action being taken. And it's the energy behind it. They have picked the wrong judge if they think he's somebody who's just going to take their threats against him. And the universe, the world. He wants to get to the bottom of it. That's a confirmation. He is not going to accept. And if he has to, Spirit, will he subpoena or call into court Pam Bondi or others of the DOJ? We have the 8 of Swords. They're panicking. They are definitely in like, oh boy, they're squirming. They know that they were given the directive. We don't care what that order said. Get them on, keep the planes going. Do what we told you to do. And even on this card, notice one of the keywords at the bottom says trapped. Yeah, they've been busted. Spirit. Boasberg, what will he do? We have the 7 of Wands. He's going to persist with this. Notice that comes after we got that Page of Wands, you all. He is going to persist. That's a stand your ground card. Many people call the 7 of Wands, where your courage is challenged, your position is challenged. You have to hold fast and say, no, this is how it's going to go. He is going to pursue this. We have the Page of Swords. They're going to try and develop new arguments. The DOJ, they're going to, continue to try and spin it, develop new arguments, new ways to stall. And the Emperor. That's FDT. The Emperor. What's he telling them? And with the mask on, no less. It was me. No, it wasn't me. No, I didn't say it. Yes, I did. I signed it. No, I didn't sign it. Judgment. Ooh. Okay. He's going to, there will be a judgment made. Some sort of fine. He can't jail anybody. That I know some of you are going to be like, yeah, he should, blah blah blah, right? But no, it's not going to result in jail. But whatever he can legally impose, fines, some sort of sanctions, the embarrassment of calling certain people into court. That's what this judgment is talking about. Now, does this land in the lap of Marco Rubio? Because remember, this was his deal. He went to El Salvador. I gotta say this for entertainment purposes only, right? We're here for a laugh, whatever, right? We gotta do it. The high priestess, you all watch. Marco Rubio is going to find himself in the thick of this in the worst way. In the worst way. And when he does, Six of Wands, the administration, oh boy, Emperor FDT is going to say, oh, I got you, Marco. You know I got you. Pay attention to the mask. Pay attention to the mask. And finally, here comes Lady Justice. They give it the number 8 in this deck. It's an old-fashioned deck, even though it's modern. But years ago, for those of you who are into tarot, the 8 used to be the Justice card. But yeah, he is in trouble. This is going to blow back on Marco Rubio. Ultimately, he will be the fall guy from this. The fingers are going to start to point in his direction. We were ready to comply. The administration, we were ready to comply. We're good people. We do what's right. And then we have the moon, because it starts crashing in on Rubio. And so then he becomes a liability to the administration. Lots of people have been looking at him. Remember, too, you all, there have been some scenarios set up. We remember Rubio, Musk, that got real funky. Apparently, it was a huge blow up, in the cabinet meeting. They tried to smooth that over in the press, say, no, we're friends, we're cool, we're not buying that. And then we have, haven't heard a lot about this yet, but keep your eyes open and ears open. Steve Witkoff. He is the special envoy to the Middle East, whatever that means. But apparently he's a big real estate billionaire like this with FDT. And there's some friction, we're being told, between the role he's being given and technically what Rubio should be doing, what's in his purview, in his domain. So there's some tension there. This trial hearing that we're talking about with the judge about these deportations, that's also blowing back on Pam Bondi. No love lost between Pam Bondi and Marco Rubio. That's going to be a friction. And then all of those roads lead to him and FDT. Spirit, will FDT boot Rubio? Will Rubio ultimately be ousted? We have the 9 of Swords. Ooh, he sure is. He feels it coming. He knows that is a distinct possibility. Will Rubio be ousted? Will he be ousted? 9 of Wands. He's gonna fight it. And as long as he serves a purpose, as long as he serves as some sort of shield and continues to be a good little boy and do what he's told, as long as he serves that purpose, they'll keep him in there, because he's a shield. And we have the King of Swords. I already have the Emperor. My other card for FDT, because he's a Gemini, is the King of Swords. Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see Rubio being ousted right away. But when I tell you, all of the tide has turned against him, and he will only remain in there because he is useful. because he can be used as a shield. This judge, however, when we got that judgment card, whatever can be done, he is going to do it. He is going to levy fines, sanctions, call people to the carpet. He will not allow this to go without being addressed. He's not just going to lay down for it, and he's not going to accept the lies. He sees the lies. He knows he's being lied to, and that's pissing him off and making him want to go for it even harder. So yeah, this is going. I don't see this. Spirit, is this going to directly impact FET? Will the outcome of this? With the Four of Wands, they're gonna that's why Spirit is saying that's why Four of Wands is a card of commitment. It's very often a card of marriage. Right? They're all in bed together. Him and his administrator, his cabinet, handpicked because of what? Loyalty at all costs. So no, I don't see this. I don't see FDT. Spirit is saying he may not be directly harmed as a result of whatever order ultimately comes down from Judge Boasberg, but the people around him are going to be deeply impacted and affected. But they are in so deep. The main qualification that they had to have was loyalty at all costs, and that's who he got around him, and that's so they'll take it. They'll take whatever's coming. All right. Wow. But that said, they're going to have to be doggone. You're going to see some adjustments made towards the end of April, about a month from now, when now this new edict takes effect about the other groups of, what did we say? Nicaraguans, Venezuelans, Haitians, Cubans. When those ICE raids start happening and the deportations go into effect, that movement, you're going to see a different route. And I think what Spirit is saying is they're going to be scrambling to find other facilities, because El Salvador, they start sending Cubans to El Salvador. Oh boy, not to mention Two of Wands. They're looking for an agreement, a focus forward. Two of Wands is a card of how, here we are. We got to go we got to make this happen. What are the arrangements we're going to make going forward? They are going to try and make arrangements either with their home countries, but that ain't happening. You think Cuba's going to negotiate and take the people back? Five of Pentacles. Closed doors at every turn. That's Spirit is saying, you all, that is part of why this whole thing is doomed to fail, because they did not have these arrangements. Wheel of Fortune, exactly. Karma, blowback, nowhere to go, running around in circles. They did not have a solid plan or agreements internationally with what to do with people who they would deport. There was none of that. It was all slash and burn, break it, we all know, and now there's no place to go. El Salvador said yes, but are they going to send them someplace else, or have to? We have the Fool. They got to find something else to do, and that's going to be a problem. That's going to be really, really problematic. This is going to be a mess for some time to come. All right, you all. The second thing I want to look at, and we'll close out, is special elections. A lot of you, I've heard you, I didn't forget, a lot of you have been contacting me about that, because if it went the way we would, pray, hope and pray, it could get control back to the House. We know that it's that razor thin margin, and we have the two districts in Florida. Elise Stefanik in New York has to be replaced. Now she's UN ambassador, or she will be. Interestingly, she is set for a confirmation hearing on April 2nd, the day after the Florida special elections. And they say Kathy Hochul has been hedging and putting it on hold, setting a date for a special election, because she wanted to wait and see what would happen in the Florida races. And then she would make her decision. Governor Hochul would make her decision about setting the date for Elise Stefanik's replacement special election in New York. Greg Abbott out of Texas, he's supposed to set a date for a special election. We know that Sylvester Turner passed away unexpectedly. And so, but that district in that Turner represented in Texas, it's, what is it, District 18, heavily Democratic, solidly Democratic. So the bottom line is Abbott knows it's going to be a Democratic replacement, right? And so he said, I don't even know when we're going to have a special election. I'm in no hurry. I'm not trying to, I just don't know. Y'all wait for it and I'll let you know when I'm ready. So that's on, for the time being, that's on indefinite hold. And from what I understand, the laws in Texas allow the governor that right, that, it is up to him to decide when he wants to set that special election date. So Texas is on hold. So that's 4 seats. That could tilt things. Put it back in Dem control in the House, and we'd see some things rocking and rolling. But Texas is on hold, and we know it'd be Democratic, right? Texas is on hold. Early in the morning, my throat's still dry. Texas is on hold. Hochul's going to make her move after the second. She said she's kind of waiting to see what happens in Florida. So let's talk about Florida. We have the 2 races. One over in the Daytona area. So sort of upper, still red, quite a red area, but a little bit more mixed. It's close enough to Orlando, but it's still, interesting. But anyway, so what's his name? Josh Wheel, Democratic candidate running against Randy Fine, Republican, very heavily supported by FDT and his whole cadre. Here's the thing, and I've heard people go back and forth with Wheel, but here's the thing that I learned that I thought, oh, this is a little troubling. Yes, he's done a decent job of raising money. Yes, there is momentum to get out to vote, for Dems to get out and vote. However, he ran into a little trouble with AOC and David Hogue, who is one of the out of the Parkland shooting situation. So he's from Florida. And I don't know all the details, you all. You can look it up. But apparently there was a little brouhaha because Josh Wheel, in some of his advertising, kind of excerpted some stuff from AOC and Hogue that they knew nothing about, had not been cleared with them or their people. So they were like, hey, dude, like, we're all for you doing your thing and winning your race. But don't do that. Don't put words in our mouths, and don't lend an appearance of something that we said to endorse you that we did not say or do, right? So that didn't go over too well. And from 2 very up and coming influential people in the party, AOC and David Hogue, who, if some of you don't know, he is a newly elected vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. All right, so that was a mistake on Wheel's part. But let's take a look at him. And then the other one, you all, I'm happy to look, but I'm sorry to say it would take divine intervention to get what's her name, Gay Valamont, running against Jimmy Patronis, right? Gay Valamont is a woman. This is the race that is going to replace Matt Gaetz' seat. Over in the Panhandle area, blood red. And I've had some people fuss at me on the comments when I've said that before. Not necessarily. There's some of us here, but I get it. I respect it, you all, before you holler at me. But I'm looking, demographically, as a total situation, yeah. But let's go ahead and get a confirmation, so it's not just me running my mouth. Spirit, in the race between Gay Valamont and Jimmy Patronis. The race between Gay Valamont and Jimmy Patronis. Will Patronis be the victor? Will Patronis be the victor? Knight of Cups and the King of Pentacles. So that's him. But I want to go a little. Deeper. I want to get something that's more definitive. Cups is also momentum. The momentum in his favor. Spirit, will the Republican retain that seat in Matt Gaetz' district? Page of Swords. Now wait a minute. Let me see. That's why I need to go to Spirit instead of just me yapping. Because Page of Swords is a potential. Like, she's putting up a real fight. Gay Valamont is putting up a real fight, and there are people who are ready for change. But here comes the Chariot. And my question was if Patronis would win. And you see that success at the bottom there. Yeah. I will tell you, I think Petronas is going to pull it out. It will remain Republican held, but I do believe what we're seeing here are the numbers are going to be way tighter than anybody expected. So, to the point of many of you who have said, don't count out Democratic voters in that region, I hear you. I hear you. The numbers are going to be way closer than I think anybody expected. But unfortunately, I think at this point, Petronas, that seat that Matt Gaetz no longer holds, is going to stay Republican. Now let's look at Josh Weil. Or Weil. I hope either way. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing. Josh Weil. Josh Weil. Josh Weil. Josh. Let's just call him Josh. Will Josh win? Democratic candidate running against Randy Fine. Josh. Democratic candidate running against Randy Fine. Josh Will. Will he prevail? Will he prevail? In the 6th District of Florida, April 1st, will he prevail? Queen of Wands. So that's somebody who has 9 of Pentacles. I wonder even if this is, even though apparently he ticked off AOC and her people, I wonder if we're going to hear something from her to support him. That's how that feels to me. 9 of Pentacles is his growth and the money that he's gotten and is continuing to get in these closing days to fend off Randy Fine. The Knight of Wands, the continued momentum around him, and the messaging. People are ready for that change. They're fired up and they're ready for that change. 6 of Pentacles, another really, really close race. Will he win, Spirit? It's going to be closer than anybody thought, though. That there is a shift happening. The 3 of Wands. He needs more help. He needs more people to turn out. Darn it. That's the issue. The issue is the turnout. And the Ace of Pentacles. When I get an ace, if you've been with me before, you know that's my spirit guide's way of saying I'm on track with whatever I'm saying. Yes, I don't think he's going to get sufficient turnout. King of Cups. That's him. I think he's a former teacher. So he has a vibe of, really being for the people, being on the right side of a lot of issues. And the Hermit. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. 8 of Pentacles, not yet. Still, there's... It's as if... 8 of Pentacles says people trust him in terms of his ability. Remember, we saw the King of Cups energy around him. Excuse me. Got incense going in the background, too. They do believe he's a really strong and viable candidate. He's raised really good money. Perhaps we will see AOC and some other influential people come out and speak vocally in advance of the primary election. But the 9 of Wands just feels like there's something there's the hurdle that he has to overcome to actually beat out Randy Fine is really, really big at this point. And again, I get an A. Spirit is saying yes. I don't want to even call it that way. It's kind of, it's a shame. But at this point, you all, I will say this. 2 things hinge. Whoever that is, if AOC, if Bernie and AOC brought the No Oligarchy tour to the Daytona area right about now, boom, like that would set it off. Talk about talk about people turning out and getting pumped up and believing that the Democratic Party is making a big enough investment in Florida at this time to motivate them. I'm sorry there if you hear outside noise, that's a siren. That could change things. That could turn out the voter base. If we don't see a lot of support coming for him, I mean a lot. I mean Democratic, leadership left, right, and center coming out for him, then it's not looking too good. All right, you all. That's what I got. Take really good care of yourselves. Have a good day. I'll check back in with you probably Tuesday or Wednesday. Remember to keep those chins up and your shoulders back. And please, please remember to breathe. Also remember, I have my Spiritual Politics meeting coming up I do it the first Friday of every month. It's a private Zoom meeting where we get together and we discuss topics. We share information. It's a place where we can feel safe and have our voices heard in a different, more intimate forum outside of YouTube, so it feels protected. If you're interested, I'll put a link for how to register to that in the description box below. I'd love to have you. And take really good care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. We'll talk really, really soon. Bye.